Namaskara and New Year wishes to one and all on behalf of myself, Dr. Geeta Barkilaya, and Destination Heritage. The year gone by made us forget what normal was and how important it was to stay alive. A year of grim milestones, for normal had become greed, inequality, avarice, etc., as we are more destructive than the virus. But hoping that in 2021, we will put behind the happenings of 2020 and make a conscious effort to understand our great and rich heritage that has answers to all aspects of life, besides an increased responsibility to Mother Earth. We have seen when we paused, nature healed. It is here that Gandhian philosophy of simple living needs to be introspected to lead meaningful lives. We must put a stop to the manhandling of our natural resources. Having said that, for us at Destination Heritage, the pandemic times was edutainment times with the 24 talks and the 3 cultural programs too, with 4 more in the coming week coming online every Saturday since August 2020. We had the satisfaction that we brought scholars around the world for heritage talks, which otherwise would have been impossible. Also, the feedback from you, dear listeners and viewers, especially the youngsters, was an adrenaline rush. We thank each and every one of you personally for the unstinted support that kept us going. The talent of our interns was visible in the posters, the tribute musical videos, the website, and the blog that was released by a former ambassador was unbelievable. I have a message which I have received this morning from a 26-year-old Sneha Priya Yanappa, a young lawyer from Bangalore. So she says, lockdown and COVID couldn't take away your zeal and want to make a difference to the society. So here's so many more adventures, hoping they come on your way to conquer. Every initiative that you have taken up this year has only sparkled a lot more interest and enthralled all of your audiences even more. You have done a fabulous job of bringing in so much knowledge through different ways and fun ways, most importantly, bringing everyone together to want to hear. Thank you for being a great guide and an amazing person who always sets a great example of what inspiration looks like. The sky is truly the limit for you. You have inspired so many of us in the journey of life, and I hope you continue to touch so many more lives in the coming years. I am very touched with this compliment coming from a youngster, and I can't thank you enough, Sneha Priya, if you are listening to what I'm saying now. And what a way to start my new year personally and for Destination Heritage with youngsters taking an interest in our webinars. Now, I would like to show a small recap of our webinars which we have conducted in 2020. all the videos that were shown now is the creativity unleashed by Kaushambi Watts in 1 day's time. That means she took about 3 days to do these three videos. A history major who is fascinated by India's heritage. Thank you, Kausambi, and I hope you are listening. She has done a wonderful job, as we have seen, and I did receive lots of WhatsApp messages saying that this time the poster is not like a poster; it is a visual treat indeed. And I thought that photography needs much more than a simple poster. And the various posters that we have seen now has been the work of youngsters, all in their third year of history, BA history in the graduation. And thanks to Aisha, Rohit Arsh, Riddhi Joshi, Kausambi Watts, and Trayambak Chakravarti. So they have been associated with us in one way or the other, and they have very beautifully come out with what creativity by today's youngsters is all about. So to all of you guys, thank you very much from Destination Heritage. We open this month's webinar with the Jay Shankar's insights to what heritage photography means. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, what's a talking picture worth? I would want this answer in the chat box from our viewers. Once again, if a picture is worth 1,000 words, what's a talking picture worth? We will look forward to the variety of answers. Schooled in Delhi, engineering from NIT Trichy and PG from IIMA. Jay Shankar retired from IT service business with 35 years of experience. His work saw him residing in Australia and the US for 19 years, and that's how he traveled extensively. This long distance made the heart grow fonder and helped in the deep appreciation of India in all its dimensions. This was further anchored to the roots, having learned yoga since the age of 22 and Vedic chanting practiced from Mani Vadyar in Bombay with regular practice. He hails from a family who have chakras instead of legs. 5 generations on his mother's side have traveled to Badrinath from Chennai and took his great grandmother 3 months. But Jaishankar completed the yatra in less than a week when he was in his eighth grade. 3 generations of his immediate family have been to Kedarnath. He has seen the glory of Mount Kailash with a circumambulation accompanied by his 16-year-old son. He has bathed in the holy waters of Mansarovar, Gandaki, and Bhagirathi at Gomukh, Rameshwaram, Kanyakumari, Varkala, and Somnath. He immensely enjoys temples in all conditions, broken, reconstructed, and living temples. I would say photography is not just a hobby, but a serious passion with him. And he is much sought after by many groups that discuss Indian heritage and culture. He is currently with a group in Bangalore who organize a rally anchored around Hoysala temples annually. His role is the identification of temples on the rally route. He has deep interest in Vedanta, yagnas, astrology, temple architecture, and Indian history. Occasionally, he talks on Vedic heritage. A warm welcome to you, Mr. Jayshankar, to our platform. And all of us are very eagerly looking towards the journey that you will be walking us through the photograph, through your photographs, be it heritage, be it land, be it monuments, be it the performing arts. I think all of this have come together in your talk today. So over to you, Mr. Jayshankar. The platform is now yours, and we are all looking forward. So, a warm welcome once again.
Thank you, Geeta. Really appreciate that. A happy New Year to you, and happy New Year to all those who have been avid followers of many of your programs. I have watched some of them, and you produce some really high quality programs that is at least of interest to me. Whether it is of interest to the rest of the world, that is up to the world. but certain things are definitely of great interest to me, and I really appreciate the work that you're doing. And my best wishes for you to continue more and more of that, and great success and a greater audience in the years to come, and definitely in this year. So I will, that is a nice introduction. And before I get on, I want to thank Kosambi because she put together a very nice video clip for this program, and I got more reviews and commendations for the one that she put together than the photograph that I had earlier shared in my webline. So, she done definitely a magical work of what I had done. So I'm happy and thankful to you, Kosambi. Appreciate that. Without much ado, the topic was, photography and heritage photography. So I will get into the core of it, and then I will go through the photographs themselves because I think they are prettier than what I am. But before I go, to me, I would like to share what is heritage to me. And to me, heritage is at three levels. At a very basic level, heritage is the very land that we live in, and the very land that we inhabit, that is the entire world is in a sense heritage because it is something that we inherit, we pass on, we are just passers by in this grand cosmos of time. The second one is the human element to that, which is the craft, because craft is as old as human being. They've been stitching clothes, they've been making tools, they've been drawing on the caves, and in many of that, which are either artistic expressions or definitely utilitarian expressions, to me is heritage because some of them have been around for more than 10, 20, 30,000 years. And the third one are structures that we have built which have lasted across time, be it a temple, be it cave paintings. To me, these are heritage. So while these are at a certain level expressions of the heritage, the deeper question is what is heritage? What is it that we experience in these places? Because that is what can bind me to these places. And to me, I was talking to my friend here in Kotagiri yesterday, and we said, when you go to the Himalayas, what strikes you is the immensity of that place. And in the only other place you get to see such immensity is either from the air when you're traveling by plane, or when you're standing on a beach and looking at the ocean, or looking at a large river. But Himalayas takes you to different level. And the beauty in the Himalayas is that not that they're just grand and they're immense. You can be standing at 11,000 feet and there could be a 15,000 feet more of mountains towering over you. But that while you feel small there, you don't feel insignificant. You feel part of this whole space that you're seeing in front of your eyes. And to me, that is heritage, meaning when I am touched deeply of what I am as a human being, or what is something that is very alive in me, which makes me a human being, when I experience that in any space, that to me is heritage, in the sense that I am reminded of what I am, what I deeply am, not just this Shankar, not this person who studied this and worked this and that, but that person in whom that where the life exists in a very fundamental sense makes me feel alive, makes me feel touched of something that is greater than myself, which is in this body. To me, that is heritage. So any space, anything that can give me that feel is what I consider as heritage. And my attempt essentially is to capture that in the visual sense. I mean, I know that the Vedic chants are also heritage. Some of the old songs are also heritage, folk songs, and I do, pay attention to them. I do record some chants, and I do chant, and I like to hear chants, etc. But I don't have the ability to capture those chants. I'm not an audio capture person. But over time, I found that I was able to capture these in photographs. And initially, I was just clicking whatever I liked. Over time, I figured that, if I'm going to click, at least I should like what I'm clicking, wherein what I'm clicking to me reminds me the emotional feel or makes me feel a semblance of what I felt in being in those places. So that's really what I'm trying to do in this photography. So, without much ado, I will get on to that and see where we go from there. So let me share the screen. And pardon me, there might be a whole lot of junk on the screen too, but we'll get to that first. Chrome tab. Okay, is this visible? All right. I don't think I can. I want
Yes,
to check if somebody
yes,
can.
Shankar, it is visible. We can see.
Cool. All right. So then go back to that screen. Where did it go? All right. How did I go there? Okay, hold on. All right. Okay. To me, this is a very special place. And for those who know this place, this is Mount Kailash, and this is the banks of Mansarovar. Um, it is. I never thought I would go to Mount Kailash. To me, it is a very unique experience simply because of it is one of the most silent places that you can get to. Not silent in the sense of that the place doesn't have noise. There is enough noise there. The river is gurgling through it. There are yaks flow going about. There are people walking around. There is always some sound, but it brings an inner silence that is very unique, which is experienced probably in few other places, but not at the level of immensity and of beauty that one can get to see in Mount Kailash. And I did that in 2013. And then this is one of those things where my wife said, "Okay, we have to go to Mount Kailash." I said, "Okay, why not?" My son was about 16 years old, and we trudged along and we called two of our friends who came over, and we did the full parikrama of that. It is to me a very unique experience, and at that time my photography skills were not as good as what it is today. Not that it is great today, but definitely it is better than what it used to be. But the place is so good that you just have to click and you'll get a good photograph. So that is why I like these places. That my job as a photographer or in my effort as a photographer pays rich dividends when the place already is beautiful. So I'm not looking for this. I'm not looking to see um, you know a broken iron pipe in a city and capture its beauty. I don't think I'm good at in doing that. But what I can do is to go to a place, see it, and if it's beautiful, I click it. And if it happens to look good, I'm very pleased. If it doesn't look good, I just kick myself. So this is Mount Kailash, and this is what I would like to begin with. But I start with the nature because to me that is the fundamental heritage. This is a photograph that I took while flying from, I think I was flying from Kathmandu to Pokhara or from Pokhara to Jomsom. I forgot which one it is. I know I should have done the due diligence and figured out. But this is from a plane. This is from a small, I think, 12-seater or a 20-seater plane. You had to fight to get to you get in early so that you can get the window seat. So this is through a fairly murky window of the plane. The murkiness doesn't come through because I'm exposing it for a different aperture. So, but to me, this is for me this is photography to me, because this is I'm neither in that place, which means I'm neither in the heavens nor am I on the earth. I'm just floating somewhere in between, trying to capture what has struck my heart. And to me, this picture exemplifies that in a very fundamental way. This is the heaven and the earth, and I'm in the antariksha trying to photograph that. It looks better in the black and white, and finally I had to do some post processing to get this black and white. But that's an easier skill if one can learn it. But I think seeing this was something amazing for me. This is when you land at Jomsom. This is called Nilgiri Himal, and this is one of the fairly it's an amazing place. Jomsom has got the Jomsom is in Nepal. I had to go to Jomsom because that is the airport that you land in to go to Muktinath. Muktinath is a Vaishnava site. It is considered, there is Vaikuntham, and then there is, after Vaikuntham there is Muktinath on earth. So that's the kind of out of the 108 Divya Deshas that are mentioned. Muktinath is 107, 108 is Vaikuntham. So don't ask me what compels me to go to Muktinath. I thought it's a beautiful place. I ought to go there. That's really it. And once went with my wife and my friends, and next time I went with my wife and my son. And this is jump some it fly. You can fly only at certain times of the year and only at certain times of the day. And because it is too windy, it has to fly through the deepest gorge on Earth, on Dhaulagiri on one side and Annapurna on the other. And cranes fly through that when they have to cross over the Himalayas. This is the sight you see as soon as you land at the airport. This is bang. You don't have to do anything. This is taken from the window of the small inn that we were staying in, which overlooks the airport, and beyond the airport is this. So this is, literally heaven on earth. And this was particularly interesting to me because next time we went about, I said, I have to do one of these. I've been always fascinated by these fabulous photographs of Milky Ways and all that. So I had to do this. And this is taken at night. This is Milky Way upon Mount Nilgiri Himal. Nilgiri Himal is not a very high peak compared to Dhaulagiri or Annapurna, but still it's quite something. I mean, as a photographer, you want to shoot everything that looks nice, but over time I realized that it takes a lot of effort to take a photograph like this. I'm not that much into it because this means that you have to trek down to a place where it's dark. You have to set it up correctly. You have to know where it is. You have to get the time of it correct, etc. While I can do that, I think I'm a little lazy to do that. So I go on and click pictures like these from the plane. So this is River Kalindi, and this one flows through. And I think this part here, it's called River Modi. I was quite humored when I saw that. But this is a site that is, it's just for free, and you can see these kind of sites when you're flying anywhere. If you're flying over Godavari or if you're flying over Krishna, you can see these sites. This is Nepal with its hills and the beauty, and this is where we're flying around in the morning. This is the same time that I took the first photograph. I like to do some of them in black and white. I have no rule for it. I look at it in color and I say, okay, it looks good in color. Fine. Then I'll see whether does it look in black and white. Try to do it in black and white. Finally, I land up with something that I like. They're not technically perfect, and I'm not good technically, meaning making a technically good photograph is not my forte, basically because I don't pay attention that much to that, nor have I learned it, nor am I good at it. I have learned over time a little bits and pieces here, but essentially I play around till I get the picture that I like. So the complaint that I hear is your photographs are not representation of how they actually look. I admit to that. They're not a representation of what they are. They are to me what is aesthetically appealing to me and represents what is evoked in me when I see these places. This is by a lake called Hanuman Tal en route to Mansarovar. It's just about 20 kilometers or 30 kilometers before Mansarovar. The reason I have this one, to me, it's a very pleasing photograph, but I have to show you that while on one side is Hanuman Tal or the lake, please note that this shape of the hill is almost like Hanuman lying on his back. So this is the head and the body here, but the head, you got the cheeks, which are puffed up cheeks. And to me, this always reminds me of Hanuman. So to me, it is a special place. We were quite evoked. We were standing right in the middle of nowhere. And the nowhere was exactly like this. Not this one, like this. So I'm standing. This lake that you can see on the right side is the Hanuman Tal. On the left side is the Hanuman Peak. And this is, for all that we like or dislike China, these are the roads of China going nowhere. They're actually going to Mansarovar. And this is the quality of roads. Now, this is overly processed. That's why you get the black and white and the clouds. But you can blame me for that. It is over processed, but I like it. So I'm really showing what I like, not necessarily a representation. You go through that, and this picture is Yamadwar, which is the start of the parikrama of Mount Kailash. You got all these yaks are carrying our stuff. You got sturdy Tibetans going around on that, but it's a surreal sight. And you go there, you're totally, you got altitude sickness or you got a headache, you're not eaten much, but you go to that place and you can see behind you is Mount Kailash, and all these people are standing out, and sometimes you stand there and you pinch yourself, am I really here? Or even now when I look at the photograph, I said, did I really go to these places? The photograph is the only evidence I gone there. There's no other evidence, because I can't even figure out that was it a dream or did I really go there. This is called Rakshasthal. So you have Mansarovar, and by the side of it is the Rakshasthal. One is considered the moon, one is considered the sun. It is the Ida and the Pingla, as one of the Tibetan masters have described it to be. But to me, it's a beautiful lake. People don't bathe in Rakshasthal. Why is it called Rakshasthal? I have no idea. There are stories that are said about it, but nobody bathes in Rakshasthal. This is not the Punya Tirtham. Other one is the Punya Tirtham, Mansarovar. And this is Mount Kailash, just on the way back when we are coming back. And these people are trying to do some research in terms of the fishes that were that were living on the streams that were flowing through, and many of the streams actually become Brahmaputra. But to me, I enjoy when there are clouds. The photograph always looks good when there are clouds. And to me, this is, you can see that actually there is rains falling up, about to fall upon Mount Kailash. This is Mount Kailash, and these are the rains that are falling over there. Very cloudy day. Luckily, we escaped the rains. And this is the other journey that I took. This was on to Gomukh. So for Gomukh, you get to Chirbasa, and then you go to from Gangotri, you go to Gangotri. You get to Gangotri from Rishikesh, via Uttarkashi. From Gangotri, you get to Chirbasa, and then to Bhojbasa, and then to Gomukh. So this is from Chirbasa. These are the Bhagirathi peaks. These are the peaks that give the name Bhagirathi to the river, I assume, or it is the Bhagirathi that gave the name to these peaks. These are 3 peaks of Bhagirathi. This is a shot from Chirbasa, and this is en route, the same Bhagirathi peaks, en route while traveling from Bhojbasa to Gangotri. You can see that this is the Mount Shivling on the right, and this was always my childhood dream. I had no idea. I had no idea of the picture. I had no idea of sense of the place. But to me, I always wanted to go to Tapovan, and Tapovan is on the foothills of Mount Shivling on the thing. Because when I heard it, I heard, oh, you have to go to Gangotri, and Gangotri you walk 40 kilometers through rocks and studs, and you get to see the place, and it's a fantastic. Only nobody can go there. We'll never get to go there in my life. This was what I had heard in my 10th grade. Eventually, I went there when I was about 55 or so. So I encourage the youngsters who are listening to make your trips now, because when you're able, these are all. India doesn't have a great tradition of people, going mountaineering and trekking as much as they do in the West. If you are young, these are very good places to go to. You can start out from Bangalore and be there in 24 hours to 36 hours. And this is stunningly beautiful. There's nothing done to this. This is just made it into black and white. That's really all that there is. So this is en route to Gomukh. This is the same Bhagirathi. You can see the same rock here. This rock here has become slightly bigger, and this is just the Bhagirathi. And this is Mount Shivling, en route to Mount Shivling. This is my guide. This is my wife who is traveling. I'm the one who is shooting it. And you can see these cloud covered and the Mount Shivling on top of it, jutting out over the clouds. And this is in its entire beauty. These are incredibly beautiful places. That is free. You don't have to pay anything for these. You just have to make the trek. And it is, if you're fit, you can do it very well. If I could do it at 55, anybody below 55 can do this. This is Rudraprayag. This is where Alaknanda meets Mandakini. Alaknanda, which is the green color one, coming from flowing down from Badrinath, and Mandakini flowing down from Kedarnath. And this is Rudraprayag. And I took it from the room that we were staying in, and just for a moment, this saffron-clad sadhu was there doing his prayers. Next moment, he was gone. So this is literally captured in a moment and gone. This eventually joins in Dev-Prayag, the Bhagirathi coming from Gomukh, and becomes Ganga. So until Dev-Prayag, They go by different names, so Mandakini and Alakananda and Gangotri and Yamunotri, etc. I mean Gangotri. So this is from that place. This is again in Nepal, taken from the air. This is Kali Gandaki River meeting up in en route to Jomsom. I love the look of it. No other rationale as to why it is there, other than the fact I like to see these winding rivers and look at the breadth of the river and how much of that is flowing. And this we are in, I think in the month of July. I think this is in the month of July or June. I think in July. And this is the beauty of the place. And Nepal is incredibly beautiful. This is the same Kali Gandaki. And I have to tell you that just to get you a sense of the size, I'm going to use this to make this bigger. And I'm going to zoom in. And if I zoom in, I don't think I can zoom any more than this, or can I? No, I can't zoom any. If you see that there is actually a small figure here, that's a human being. That is the scale of this is a human being. There's one human being here walking here. This is easily at least it feels like a few kilometers wide. And this is all gravelly. This is where you get this is the river that produces shaligramam, which is used by oops, what happened? You can wait longer. Exit page. All right, I seem to run into a problem on its zooming. Let me just exit and come back and see what's happening. Oh, sorry about that. Let me go back into this again. All right, I hope it works now. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, just hold on for a second. I will get this. Saving the strap. I gotta. All right, we're back here. All right, we're back. All right, am I audible? Am I okay? Geeta, am I audible? I'm audible,
Yes,
right?
yes, Jay Shankar, you can go ahead.
All right,
Very
cool.
audible and also visible.
All right, cool. Let me just figure out how to go back in. So this is Kali. This is the river Kali Gandaki. This is en route to Muktinath. This is the route you travel. It is incredibly beautiful, absolutely bone dry. These are all the people. I mean, this is a village called Kagbeni, where the river and this area is called the Mustang region of Nepal. Very Buddhist. It's a fairly ancient region that people have been dwelling in. And in floods, this whole entire river is when the snow melt happens, this entire river bed is covered with water. And this is a special place where you get shaligram, which many of the Vaishnavites use in their puja. I use in my puja too. Many temples use that. They make idols with shaligram, but this is the place where shaligrams are found. Now, it's a fairly special place. It is also the deepest gorge, as I mentioned, between Dhalagiri and Annapurna. This is the same. What I took earlier, what I showed earlier was taken from this part, and this is from the other side. The river comes in, there is a bend in the river. This is the river Kagbeni. I had, don't ask me why, but I had seen this place and I said, no, I want to spend a couple of days. We went and spent a couple of days there. Extremely windy, extremely cold, very dry. Food tastes like nothing on earth, and very expensive place to stay. But absolutely beautiful. These are the places from that. This is where the river is coming in from, and you can see the beauty of the place. These are goat, sheep crossing over the river in the morning. I find these images very touching. I find them very moving. I find them very beautiful. I believe This is our heritage. This is the Machu Picchu. I think it is called Umamaheshwara Peak in Nepal. It is called Machu Picchu. It's got a peak which has got like a fish tail. So Machu Picchu is like machi is fish machi. Punchere is pichure is like punch. So it's a machi ka punch. It's like the fish tail.
Jay Shankar, I think there is
Yeah.
a lot of disturbance in your audio. Could you adjust that?
I will see what I can do on that. Uh, Let me see if I can.
Because it was not there when you did it earlier.
Okay. Is it? Are you still getting the? I don't know whether it is the Wi-Fi that is being flaky. Is it? Am I audible now, or is it still?
Yes, now it is
Stable?
clear. There was some slight disturbance. Now that is not to be heard now.
All right. Good. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is from Pokhara. This is a site you see from Pokhara. Please go to these places. These are wonderful places. This will not be in the same shape 20 years from now. And this is again Kagbini. I just love this place. Hence, I'm putting more photographs of the same. This is to me a representation of a mountain in the Indian architecture. Okay, this is Darasuram. Darasuram is a UNESCO heritage site. I love this temple. It is incredibly beautiful, extraordinary sculpture, fantastic vibes. It's been reconstructed. Um, anytime this is literally 10 kilometers from Kumbakonam. It's a must see place for any Indian who is interested in any. I mean, if they are Indian and they want to have some interest in that, I think these are the places to go to. I can definitely assure that. This is Darasuram, and this is Gangakonda Chorapuram. This is where Rajendra Chola ruled. He intentionally built it a little shorter than the Brihadishwara temple at Tanjore because he didn't want his temple to outshine his father, Rajaraja Chola. Rajendra Chola is also famous for having gone up north and conquered all of up to Kalinga, and he's supposed to have gone up to Ganga in Bengal. That way, this is called Ganga Konda Chorapuram. So he's the one who went all the way to Ganga, brought pots of Ganga water, and that's why it's called Ganga Konda Chorapuram. Puram meaning the place. He is also the one who sent out fleets and many of the Hindu influence in Southeast Asia is afforded to this king Rajendra Chola. These are some of the photographs from a long back. I just, I have the tendency to go back and look at some of the photographs because when I initially take them, they don't look nice. I said, let me see whether I can do anything but don't crop them or change them into black and white. And this turned out to be an old photograph that turned out to be very good. And this gentleman who's standing there, I hope he's there in the this thing. He is Tapati, Veenada Acharya, outstanding Tapati from a Vishwakarma tradition, who are the people who have built these kind of temples and sculpted many of these trees. This is Chidambaram. Somehow these gopurams come out extremely well in my eyes for me in black and white. I've seen some gorgeous color photographs of Madurai Gopuram, but to me the black and white has a certain different quality. And while I shoot them in color, I look at them and I finally go back and get them into black and white. This is Chidambaram famous. I think this is the North Gopuram of Chidambaram, and a famous tank. And under the tank is actually a Shivalingam. There is a fairly large Shivalingam that you can see when the water level drops. This is the South Tower of Chidambaram in a bang middle of the day. Normally, I don't shoot in the middle of the day, but because I didn't know how to shoot in the middle of the day, over time I figured out that okay, if there is enough contrast, I can shoot middle of the day landscape. Otherwise, I try to shoot my middle of the day photographs all interiors because then I get a different light and shade, and I can do that in the afternoons inside. This is Gandikota. Gandikota is this is in I think Gandikota is Karnataka. Sorry, Gandikota is in Andhra or Telangana. I think it's in AP. It's in Andhra Pradesh, not too far from Kadapa. It has got a great gorge. They call it the Grand Canyon of India. It's not Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon is much grander than the Gandikota Canyon, but Gandikota has got beautiful temples. So this is, I think, Vardaraja Perumal temple, I think, in Gandikota. Absolutely empty. And the beauty with these temples, because there is nobody goes there, and many of these temples have been destroyed and have been rebuilt, so there is no worship goes on. But these are the only temples where you can actually go into a Garbhagriha. You can go into the sanctum and you can sit there. And these are temples that were last destroyed 500 years back or 400 years back. Um, and you can still feel the vibration there. You can feel absolutely silent. You can feel that sannityam there. You can feel it more potently than any other alive temple, because in the live temple there are too many people. You cannot go into the Garbhagraham anyway. You can get the feel, but these places there is nobody to disturb you. The only thing you have to put up with, you will have to put up with the smell of bats if there are some. But absolutely gorgeous places if you want to experience what a sanctum sanctorum feels like in a Hindu temple. And this is one such temple. This is this is Jinji temple. I think it's the Venkataramana Swami temple in Jinji. In Jinji has got a fort. Jinji is about 30 kilometers from Tiruvannamalai, due east, and they have a fort. And I tried to climb all the way to the fort. I gave up halfway through because they're getting too late in the evening. But I wanted to take this quasi aerial photograph of this. I was very happy with this. This is a beautiful temple. And the beauty of this temple is that the Garbhagriha of this temple, due west of that Garbhagraham, is the Tiruvannamalai peak. And to me, that is special because Tiruvannamalai peak is Tiruvannamalai, the hill itself is a fairly special place. Ramana Maharishi calls that it is Shiva himself that is the peak. And I don't think it was just a coincidence that this Venugopala Swami temple of Jinji is exactly due east without any deviation. It is due east, not even a second deviation, due east of Tiruvannamalai. And Tiruvannamalai similarly has got one in the north also, in Padavid. This was an experiment I tried to do. This is an 1850 photograph of the temples on Hemakutta Hills in Hampi, and I tried to see if I could get something close to that. So I adjusted this and that, and this was the result I got. So this is my photograph. This is a photograph 150 years back. So to me, these are things haven't changed much in a certain sense, except that just some white paints here and there. But these are my pet projects of what I like to do. This is again Madurai Gopuram. When I took the photograph, I thought it came out like nothing. Then I made it into black and white with the clouds. Everything comes alive with the clouds and in black and white. This is a very small temple in Kolar. This is a 12th century Chola temple. Very short, very cute. The beauty of this is the foundation for this is only 6 inches or 12 inches or something like that. That's all there is, the foundation. And most of the temples, the foundation is very, very, very short. They're not like the multi-story. Even Brihadishwara temple, the foundation is less than the height of a man standing with his hand held up. So it's about 8 feet. That's all the foundation is, even for Brihadishwara temple. And that makes one wonder about the quality of engineering and technology that they had. Because, Geeta said, I studied at IIM Ahmedabad, the fantastic architecture by the architect Louis Kahn. It's probably about 60 years old. And that buildings are crumbling. They say that it's poor quality bricks, poor quality this, but if those were not known, and if you cannot build a structure that doesn't last more than 60 years or 70 years, and these are structures that have stood across 1200 years, it is just not heritage in the sense of beauty and spirituality, etc., but purely in terms of engineering, purely in terms of technology. These are a heritage that we have devalued. We do not care about. We think these are some old foggy things, and we go and build with concrete and steel, and eventually those buildings don't last anywhere near what these do. So the heritage has got multiple components and much beyond that. This is for those from Bangalore and Karnataka. This is Hampi. This is Virupaksha temple. Backside, this is the main Gopuram of Virupaksha temple, just in black and white. That's all. And this is the same Virupaksha temple. I like this photograph. I liked it, but I think when I posted it on Facebook, more people liked it. So I figured that something is evoked in all of them. for them to like it. Hopefully you like it. Those who are watching it also like it too. But this one, I just had to do this small adjustment to make sure that I get this small gopuram between these pillars. And this is in the same Hemakuta Hills that I had shown earlier. But the day was beautiful. This was in August. I'd come back from the US and I was tired and I'd done my quarantine. And I figured that it was safer to be in Hampi than to be in Bangalore during COVID times. Went to Hampi. There's nobody there. Normally, Hampi gets 5,000 people. The day we went, there were probably 20 or 30 people. That's all. The industry is dying. Tourism is dying. So if you could venture out of your home and visit these places, that would be a fantastic thing for you. One, you'll see these places uncrowded, and you will be doing great service to the tourism industry and for the well-being of these heritage sites. So these are some more pictures of Hampi. This is the Vitala temple, which is which I think is much photographed, much shown. I'm not doing anything special. When I went there, it had rained, and rain always gives a beautiful feel to the whole place. This is a panoramic shot stitched together. Again, this is the famous the chariot. Many of the Vijayanagara temples have this chariot, and this had a brick Vimana on top of that had fallen. You can see some old photographs from 1850s where the Vimana is intact, but they came down. I think in the late 1800s, many of the Vimanas were brought down. Belur temple had Vimana that was brought down. I think the Halabir temple also had a Vimana that was all brought down, because in the late 1800s, when the Brits were running the ASI, they deemed that these were very unsafe. They had been tried to fix it. They did not feel that it was safe. And these are all brought down. This is one of those. But imagine the same chariot, stone chariot with a Vimana. Now, it is always interesting to find out why this Vimana, they got this chariot in the middle. And this is not the only temple. There are many temples that have got that. So this chariot is along the east-west axis. And if to the left to the east, to the right to the Garbhagraham, it is believed that the sun rays on a certain days of the year, when it rises, and this is a little more tricky one compared to other places, but I won't get into those details. The sun rays pass through an opening on the left side of this chariot, as you see it. There is a Garuda inside. It passes through the Garuda, and that light goes all the way to the feet of the Lord in the Garbhagraham. So why is that important? Because the Ratha is the human body. Human body is often referred to as the Ratha. It is the sun's rays that touch the Garuda. Essentially, the Garuda is bringing the Amrita from the heavens and is offering it to the feet of the Lord, which is just like as a human, when a human being reaches a certain level and experiences a certain blissfulness of the Amrita, and he or she offers that to the divine Lord. And this is a representation of that. And the geometry of that, the technology of that is, and the astronomy of it is fantastic, because in this one, there is on the east side, there is actually a hill. So the sun doesn't rise at 6 a.m. and the rays shine here. Sun might rise at 6 a.m., but it has to get to a certain level for the sun rays to get through on a particular day of the year. So there is a fair amount of astronomy, fair amount of calculation that has gone on here. This is one of my favorite temples, Somanathapura, Chennakeshwara temple in Somanathapura. This is a wide-angle shot. It is a wide-angle stitched shot. So you won't get it with any regular thing. You just have to stitch together 2-3 photographs, and that's what I did here. And this is the same one. There's a wide-angle shot stitched together, multiple wide-angle shots stitched together. But Somanathapura is a must-go place. This is one of the most beautiful temples and is considered the jewel of the Hoysala architecture. This is Chidambaram inner structure. So when it gets too bright for me to shoot outside, I go inside, and this is the Chidambaram, the Amma Mandapam, or the Mandapam, the front Mandapam of the goddess of Chidambaram. So this is the one there. I love this place. This is just I don't think I've ever been able to capture the beauty of this because I'm able to capture only one side. There's a similar set of pillars on the other, and they're extraordinarily beautiful. To me, um, these are my play around with the photography to see whether I'm getting some of this right. This is a heritage building. This is a Chettinad mansion. All that I've done here is just take a picture and make that into black and white, except that the light play of light is so beautiful there. This is a heritage monument, meaning they're more than 100 years old. It is a private mansion. We kind of got to go in there purely by luck, and this is what it looks like. And why am I showing that here in a heritage talk? While this is heritage, this is a rich man's heritage. This is like the Shekhavati Havelis or Trivandrum mansions or Chettinad mansion. This is a Chettinad mansion. But just to show that the black and white always showcases in a significantly better way, in a better quality. And at least I can definitely say that many of the people who see my photographs always like my black and white more than the color ones. Maybe I don't do the color ones as good as the black and white, but I would assume that the black and white has a charm. This is broad daylight, Karnataka, Tan. This is the Chettinad country in South India. Why did I go there? Because there all the Chettinad mansions were there. I had to see them. I said, okay, let's go. And the day was beautiful, and the clouds were all puffy like cotton candy. This is inside Madurai Meenakshi Temple. I was just lucky that when I caught that light at the right time. Still don't think I caught the core of it or essence of it as good. But to me, these are incredibly beautiful sites. This is Tirvanekaval in near Trichy. This is one of the Panchabhuta Stalas. This is the stala for the water. Jalakanteshwara, the name of the Ishvara, and I think I forget the name of the goddess. It will come to me. Look at these pillars. These are all look at that. This is the man who is kneeling down in front of the Dwajastambha and doing a namaskara, and the size of these are absolutely giant, massive pillars. Only other place I have seen these pillars are in Chidambaram, and these are built by the Nayakas. Nayakas in the 15th century or in the 15th and 16th century, or maybe after that. I don't know when they built this particular piece at Tirvanekaval. These are massive. These are absolutely giant, massive, and to have even gotten these pillars to move them in days of no crane and others. These are engineering marvels. These are not just heritage alone in terms of aesthetics and spirituality. These are intensely beautiful structures. And this is very similar structure to the Chidambaram, one of the corridors of Chidambaram. This is a place near Kadapa called Pushpagiri. This is a very, very ancient location. These people have been living here, or peoples have built temples here 2000 years back. There are Ikshwaku dynasty has been here. Rama went through this place. This is a place called Pushpagiri. This is a Chennakeshwar temple. This is a twin temple. There's Chennakeshwar and I forget the other god name. I remember the Keshwa very well. You can see the twin gopurams here on the back. Incredibly beautiful on the banks of Pennar. Pennar starts from Nandi Hills and winds its way up north, takes a right turn, and flows through all these places. There are some incredibly beautiful temples upon the banks of this river. It finally meets the Bay of Bengal near Nellore. I had seen it long back, and I was very intent on going and capturing this photograph because I think to me, this exemplifies Indian culture. A temple by the river. And literally every place in India, wherever there is a river, you would find a temple. If you don't find a temple, that's because it's been destroyed. But along the entire riverside of India, you'd find temples, 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 because rivers are essentially for any civilization to thrive, any township to thrive. And wherever there is a thriving township, there's a temple. So you also find temples on hills, but compared to the number of temples upon a river, number of temples on the hills are much fewer. This is one of the few places where you can actually see Pennar River with water in it. I've tried going up, chasing down Pennar River from Nandi Hills. I went up north where there's supposed to be Pennar is supposed to meet up with another river. I was standing exactly where the Google map said it should be. There was a road on the bed of the river, And when we asked, he said, well, no water has flowed on this river for the last 25 years. This was 3 years back. So if you want to see river flowing, if you want to preserve heritage, this is the view that you need to have if you're going to go after and rebuild our and re-nourish our rivers so that we could be nourished by them. This is the spot at Bhoganandishwara temple. This is the Pushkarni from where the Pennar originates. 5 rivers originate from this river, from this Pushkarni, and this is one of them. This was also an experiment that I did to see how does an heritage structure look when I couple with somebody in a heritage dress. So this was my friend Aparna, who was happy to. I mean, without her, this project wouldn't have gotten going. She was happy to pose, and we got this going like this. And these are, I believe that in a certain way, when something of heritage is matched up with a heritage structure, the structure looks beautiful, the heritage craft looks beautiful, and the overall picture is incredibly more beautiful compared to just a structure. And I'll show some examples of that. This is same one. This is I don't know this lady. She was just visiting. This is inside of the Somanathpura temple, Keshwa temple in Somanathpura, and this was my concept of on a traditional sari in a traditional temple, and this I got that. And this is the same lady. I thanked her finally because I took her when she was not. She didn't know I was taking a photo. Finally, I told her and I thanked her for that. She said, "Okay, I'm fine." But these are Chettinad saris, which are again part of heritage. This is Lepakshi, not too far from Bangalore, about I think 2 hour drive from Bangalore, depending on where in Bangalore you live. It's a 16th century temple, absolutely gorgeous, incredible sculptures. And I decided to shoot some pictures here with somebody doing Bharatanatyam. Also, I got that later. Okay, I forget the name. This is Lakshmi Narasimha temple. I just love the color, the light there. This is just very nothing. It's not an ornamental pillars. It's just lovely pillars. But I love the light and light of play, or the play of light. To me, a photograph actually we don't capture the place. The photograph actually only captures the light. So if you're taking a photograph, at least to me, a photograph comes out well only when I can see the play of light and not the object. So if I can ignore the object and just take the light and see how that light feels, I will get a good photograph. If I don't do that, it comes out flat. That's why most post pictures comes out flat, because most of the time people are standing still and they are in broad daylight. There is no light and shadow and any of that. And it just almost all post photographs come out dead. Like this one. This is the post photograph. But simply the lay of light. I just asked her to, I mean, hopefully Vijay is in this. She was very kind enough to come and pose for that. A shy lady, but she was courageous enough to pose for my photograph without knowing what it would look like. But I think she was pleased with what I took. This is a post photograph. She's just looking there, other side. She's just not looking at the camera, but just the play of light makes it much more interesting, at least in my eyes, and hopefully for you too. The same Lepachi, very young girl, was willing to don on her Bharatanatyam dress. This was before her Arangetram. I think her formal Arangetram actually happened here. It was Uttrada Nakshatram, or Uttram or Uttrada Nakshatram, which is a good day for any of these kind of things. And she just danced. I said, do whatever you want to do. We had people at the temple chasing us about. But she just boldly did that. And for a young girl, she was all of 17 at that time, I think. And it comes out very well. Because why? In my view, it is because the place is gorgeous. She is gorgeous looking, and she's wearing a gorgeous dress, which is all traditional. And I think all of that comes out together fantastic. And this is one, to me, this almost looks like a painting to me. I don't think I intentionally captured it this way. I took the photograph. The light was exactly on her correctly. And to me, this is like a painting, not because I took it. It's simply that her dress, the play of light makes it incredibly beautiful to me. And this is her. I tried doing this in color. And finally, I had a picture of what it would look like. It was nothing like what I wanted it to be. Finally made it into black and white. And after that, it has looked much nicer to my eyes. This is her, And you can see there is absolute blend of what the person is, what she is wearing, and what the sculptures are. This is all Lepakshi, and you can see the deity there, Veerabhadra. I love this Nandi. This is in Kikeri, very old temple, extraordinarily beautiful. They had beautiful Madanikas. Many of them have been stolen, but this Nandi is stellar. Um, Outstanding workmanship, Hoysala. I mean, nobody sculpts like Hoysala. The only ones who do that are the Jains up in Gujarat and Rajasthan. And I have a theory that it is many of the Jains who were building the Jain temples were the ones who came down to Hoysala to Vishnuvardhan, and from there they started this tradition of Hoysala architecture and sculpture. Because this level of detailing is not there in any other South Indian temples. It is not there in the Chalukyas before them. It's not there in Vijayanagara after them. The Hoysala has literally appeared out of nowhere. Most detailed structural work. They wherever he could carve, they were carved it. This is Lepakshi. This is Vijayanagara. So look at the Nandi here, which is the Vijayanagara Nandi, and this is a Hoysala Nandi. And you can see the level of detailing that goes on in a Hoysala. To me, it's always interesting when it's a sculptor. It's a sculptor. Fair enough. I have my friend here who is a Vastu person, and she said it's a sculptor, it's not the Hoysala. This is Polonnaruwa. It is in Sri Lanka, which is a massive Buddha. Buddha and Parinirvana state. Parinirvana meaning just before before his passing away. He's lying down, and this is a photograph. And this is a single rock. I think it's about 22 feet or something like that. And they have four of them next to each other. This one and the other one are next to each other. I couldn't get a photograph that was good enough for me to show here. I like to have people in the photograph. Initially, you would wait for people to get out of the picture so that I can get there. But if I find that the person is matching up with the mood of that place, and I get that, this man, at that moment, had lifted his hands and offering his prayers. I was very happy to get him at that moment. This is Dambula in Sri Lanka. Extraordinary level of cave paintings. And you can see this is Buddha with his, I forget what it is. This is where he's touching the earth as a sakshi, bhu sakshi, in front of Yama or in front of demons. And this is the whole cave. Just look at the size of it. Look at the beauty of it. Yes, they have been repainted because the paint. This is second century cave, and it's been painted over a couple of times. Not like the painting that they do in Tamil Nadu temples, but still aesthetic, much more beautiful than what you can do. The quality is retained. The paints are natural dyes. They don't use the poster colors and the oil paints. But this is an incredibly beautiful place. To me, these are places that in me evoke beauty. So I think I'm reaching the top of the time. So I'm going to run through some of these. This is Kelaniya Mahavihara. Kelaniya is actually stands for Kalyani. Kalyani River flows through that place. This is in Colombo. Kalyani River goes through that place. Kalyani became Kelaniya. This is the place where Vibhishana was crowned after the death of Ravana. And there is a sculpture that shows, Lakshmana doing Abhishekam for him or Raja Abhishekam for him. So this is a temple. We have both the Vibhishana crowning. You got the Hindu gods as well as the Buddhist one. This is a special Buddhist place. Incredible paintings. These are about 100 years old. This is in Nepal. It's called Buddha Nilakanta, which kind of is a silly name. I think it's a Vriddha Nilakanta. Nilakanta is Vishnu. Vriddha is old. So this is Vriddha Nilakanta. They call it Buddha Nilakanta, which is completely different from what it actually means. But this is Buddha. This is Mahavishnu lying in Anantashayanam. This is Adisesha in the middle of the water. This is again Dharasuram. We've gone through that. I also go to museums. This is from Met Museum. It's a Burmese Buddha. This is Tara, Nepalese work. This is Avalokiteshwara. This is in the British Museum. These museums are a treasure house of all the stolen stuff from Asian countries. They have nothing of this quality. These are great attractions, and there is a lot of many people argue that they are safer there in India. That is absolute BS, because there are enough temples that are still safe. It is not safer in India because everybody is stealing from India to sell to these museums or to private collectors. This is one of my treasured pictures. This is Mahishasura on the East Gopuram inside wall of Chidambaram. This is in Tirukazhikundram. This is the 63, 64 9 Mars, and in bronze. And they are taken out on a procession once a year, but rest of the year they are inside. This is Tirigana Sambandar in Met Museum. Tirigana Sambandar is one of the four famous Shaivite saint. Written great works of poetry. Was enlightened at a very young age, and this is his sculpture in bronze. Don't ask me how it got there into a Met Museum when it should be in some temple in Tamil Nadu, but that's a topic for other people. This is a work of art. This is called Vrindavani Vastra. This is in the British Museum. This was taken from India out some 150 years back. This whole thing is woven. This entire picture it depicts various episodes from the life of Krishna. It's almost like Bhagavatam's woven in. This is about 20 meters or something like that. From a culture, I forget, this is Vaishnavite culture in Bengal that is still alive, Bengal and Assam, by the river Ganga as well as Brahmaputra. And they did this about, I think, 400 years back or 500 years back. Incredible. This is Ganga in Nepal. This is in Patan, in Nepal, near Kathmandu. So you have Ganga and Yamuna. This is Yamuna, and this is what they look like. So this is the door. The Devi is inside. She's taken out for procession sometime. These are all wooden beams with sculptures on top. And this is on your left is Ganga, on your right is Yamuna. And this is Ganga offering her benediction to you and holding the lotus leaf, the lotus flower. Nepal, while it's been looted now, have had many of these structures not destroyed. So you'll find very many old structures in Nepal like this. So this is on this doorway on top of that is what's here. Incredible piece of work, matches any of what we call in Chola or Vijayanagara, and still alive. This is from Chennai Museum. While it is called Mahishasura, labeled as Mahishasura, there's a Nishumba Sudini. This is from the Devi Bhagavatam. Nishumba are killed. She is the one who killed Nishumba. So she's called Nishumba Sudani. And this is Vishapaharana. So on his right hand, this is Shiva, is holding a bowl on which there is Visha, or the poison. So this is Nilakanta before he is having his poison. So he's holding that. So he's called Visha Apaharana. That is one who's about to have the Visha. So this is an incredible sculpture again in Chennai Museum. This is Nataraja in Chennai Museum. So, and this is Natesa. This is a 7th century Pallava. So one benefit of this is that you end up asking questions and you really learn about some of the history. You understand how things were destroyed. You understand how things have been looted. You get a sense of Indian history, and you get a little more, what would I say, more passionate about the Indian history and the quality of its heritage and the quality of engineering skills, etc. Much more than just saying that India invented zero. This is the Apasmara under the feet of Nataraja in a temple. This is near Tirupati. This is the Vijayanagara palace, which became a temple. And this is, and this is the workmanship of the Devi by the side of the Shiva, this Uma, and this is the workmanship on her sari. This is in a Cleveland museum. It is one of the Buddhist deities. I forget the name of it. Vajra something like that. I forget what the name is, but it's 11-headed. And it's a dancing one. Supposed to be a fairly powerful tantric. well, Tantric Buddhist kind of a stuff. This is Satashiva in Cleveland Museum. This is Uma in Cleveland Museum. This is Vishnu in his Cleveland Museum. Many of these are in Cleveland Museum. This is Uma Maheshwara, sculpted. It is sculpted in bronze, sitting now in. It's from Nepal, sitting in Cleveland Museum. So I could go on. I think there are a few more. I think that I would like to show. This is in Hemavati. Hemavati is about 2 hours drive north of Bangalore. This is a Nolamba sculpture. Nolambas thrived as a dynasty from 7th century to the 10th century. This is Bhairava. This is still alive. It is incredibly beautiful, very powerful. A must-go place if you are in Bangalore. And this is Siddhalakshmi in Patan Museum. Siddhalakshmi is one of the forms of Durga, and she is a protectress goddess. This is again Lepakshi. These are my attempts to see if I could just get everything in black and white with no background. This is behind a glass case, so I was able to get this photograph in such a way that the glass is not that visible except in the right side. These are my attempts. This was my attempt, as I said. This is a heritage structure. This is Tipu Palace in Chamrajpet. I think it's Chamrajpet, right? In Bangalore, and see the difference between having just the heritage, same structure, and with a person. There's a Banarsi sari because it is Tipu Palace. Or this is the same Tipu Palace in black and white, without a person and with a person. So if you can get a person in a heritage dress in a heritage place, it doesn't matter. The photograph will look good. The secret or the formula is fairly simple. You don't have to do anything else. You just have to sit there and click. This is in Nelamangala. I think it is in Nelamangala. No, not in Nelamangala. I forget this place. This is en route to. This is one of the places where Ramanuja was there, and this is Garuda Vahana of that place. I forget the name of this place. And these are my favorite ones of Hoysalas from various places. I think this is Nuggehalli. And this is all Halabeedu. I'll leave you just to run through the Halabeedu ones. I love them. They turned out very well. By the way, all of these photographs are all taken with my cell phone. So this is not any fancy camera. This is just cell phone, and worked with Snapseed on the cell phone. And I could do it on an iPad or I could do it on the phone, but these are just cell phone photographs. I mean, I have photographs of these with my camera too, but this just to share with you what camera you have doesn't matter. As Garuda, this is Natya Saraswati and this is Natya Lakshmi. This is fairly unique combos that you'll find. Natya Saraswati you'll find in many Hoysala temples, but Natya Lakshmi I have found only in Halabeedu. And this is special to me because I was waiting for the light to travel so that I can capture the light in the Sandhya Vela, on Sandhya time of Narasimha tearing apart Hiranyakashipu. That's when he killed him. And this is my funny mode. This is Virupaksha temple. Absolutely beautiful murals. The only ones who are enjoying them are the monkeys during COVID. And these are the murals. This is Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. And this is the monkey, absolutely stoned. Probably had a good sleep, woke up, looks like exactly like a human being who's had a long sleep and wakes up and they stare at vacantly. And this is what, to me, also represents heritage because these are the inhabitants of our heritage places. And thank you. Sorry, I overshot. So this is Bhagnandishwara temple. So I'm done, Geeta. I hope that was audible. I think you're on mute. All right.
Are you done?
I'm done, I think. Yeah.
I was waiting for some more pictures. We have couldn't have had much better. I was just thinking there'll be some more pictures coming.
No. I had to cut short pictures. There were just too many of them. I thought I was racing through.
Oh, it was a wonderful walkthrough. And for once, I have no words. I am stumped. I can
Thanks.
just say that your camera, Shankar, is a save button for the mind's eye that stops a good moment from disappearing. And we were the beneficiaries and witnesses of both the nature and man made beauties. So you don't have to pinch yourself. You have been there and brought memories much after your tryst with nature there. I have not seen Kailash, but I feel I have made a Mansarovar journey through your shots, through the Indradwara of your camera. It has made my resolve to make the trip as early as possible. Shankar's reflections on heritage through his inspiring photos have reiterated what heritage means to me also personally. The living biomass, which is the topography that we are surrounded with, which has a man land connotation, the built structures, and the creativity like the performing arts define who we are. It makes one feel alive and gives an immense feel of relating to heritage, of being in those places. And that's why it's important that we value our heritage, of being to those places and experiencing it firsthand. Heaven and earth, and you have been clicking from a vantage point, has been a beautiful shot, even though it was through a murky plain window. You were there, but still not there. A passing moment framed by a passing traveler. It was wonderful, just like how life is. So, Happy New Year once again to all, with a pledge that we at Destination Heritage will create an awareness with the youngsters to uh, take care of the local heritage that is within the area that they live as a part of their surroundings, to promote handicrafts and local artists and produce, and thereby boycotting cheap imported products. So this is our pledge from Destination Heritage for the ensuing year. So there have been lots of comments. I think about we have been streaming it on three platforms. That is on Destination Heritage and my personal FB page and YouTube. So I will take the questions from the Destination Heritage Facebook page. There are nearly about 45 to 50 feedback.
So just before we get going, I just want to thank because I noticed that one of my friends, Umapati Acharya, who's a Stapati in Kumbakonam, is there. So thank you, sir. Thank you for being here. He was the one who ignited me into the nuances of many of these sculpture, and some of these photographs are shot with him, and his brother is there in that Gangakanda Chorabaram photograph also. And I'm happy to be doing it from Kotagiri because my friend Sashi was the one who got me interested in all things about sculptures and Indian sculptures and so on and so forth. So I'm very fortunate that I'm here on that in Kotagiri in that day. Thank you.
So I will take, Dr. Ravi Shankar Srinivasan, who was the retired director of Epigraphy Mysuru. So he says, Destination Heritage always prove different than other platforms. Again today with a very different subject, which was very fascinating. All the best. Then from Dr. Padma Prasad from Tumkuru, he says, let Destination Heritage reach new heights in the new year. Thank you, Dr. Padma Prasad. And from Kaushambi Words, I must read this. Thank you so much, ma'am. It's always a pleasure to be associated with Destination Heritage. And we at Destination Heritage love interacting and taking them as interns on our forum. So it is mutual. Then again from Dr. Ravi Shankar, excellent view looking at heritage as a transcendental and as a very sublime experience. Then from Professor Emeritus Maruti Nandan Prasad Tiwari from Benares Hindu University, I find the talk and the photographs fascinating. more showing the spirit of Jay Shankar ji. Badai ho. So many of them have said that it is fantastic clicks and very well explained and totally spellbound with each photograph and at a loss of words. So this is Pratima Ravi Prakash who says that the first photograph looks like a painting, and Chandra Vijayan who says beautiful view of Chidambaram as a skyscraper. So loved it. Pratima Ravi Prakash, who has come from the YouTube, she says that the photograph of the Milky Way is breathtaking, and of the Gandaki River is awesome. And Chandra Vijayan, who says you are taking us on a pilgrimage tour from north to south of India within the limited time. Thank you so much, Destination Heritage and Jai Shankar ji. Then again from Pratima, who says that the photos of the Darasuram, Gangai Konda, and Chidambaram made my resolve to visit these places as early as possible. And thank you, sir. Each of your photographs are so good that I am spellbound. And Dr. Nagara Sharma, who is also a ace photographer, who says that Nandi is having darshan of Shiva through the 9-hole window in this temple. Then Ravinder Chima, who says that like the natural background that you look for while you click the pics. Awesome, and that adds more beauty to the, excuse me, and that adds more beauty to the monument. Then from again Pratima, who says Hampi is my favorite place and loved the photographs with the explanations. Somnath Pura is a treat, and as I said earlier, I just can't stop praising. So she has given her praise very liberally so many times. And Dr. Sanjeev Kumar Singh from the National Museum, Delhi, says that if I am allowed to sum up, I will say just wonderful, mesmerizing, and extraordinarily informative and entertaining. So this is from Sneha Priya Yanappa, a lawyer from Bengaluru. She gives a compliment, and I think she also asks a question. I think they say a picture speaks 1,000 words. It often creates that connection between the humans and architecture, evoking the feeling of oneness and makes us appreciate the scenic beauty. This is a fantastic photography, most importantly informative, as I wasn't aware of many of these places. Then again from Dr. Sanjeev Kumar Singh, who says that in his capacity of being associated with the Delhi Museum, he has traveled to many places within India and outside also, and has visited many museums. And he has met even excellent photographers with very good skill, and he has seen the how they play with their lens. But he has to say that I came to know that we have been missing something important. I think my gratitude to learned speaker to giving us chance to visit our heritage with this angle. I think he meant the heritage, the monument, and the people, and wearing those heritage dresses like the Chettinad checked sari of that lady, and the men wearing the lungi. I think it is the play of heritage, artistry, art, and the people that makes your pictures and your photography so very unique. And I said there is Mr. Umapati Acharya, the Stapati, who says that it is great, and Ganesh Goswami, advocate, who says that the Kikkeri Nandi is sublime and emotive. So much melancholy in his face. Yes, Ganesh, there have been about some 12 Madanikas, out of which 6 or 7 have been stolen, and they are still in the FIR stage. So that's why it is very melancholy and feeling more sad rather than the people who should be sad that their heritage is lost and have not made any attempt to get it back. And there is a question from Sneha Priya, who says the photos are fantastic. Unfortunately, when it comes to heritage, there is often a lack of information on most places. Hence, people don't know about these heritage sites. Now, there's a question for you. What do you think is the best way of information dissemination through heritage photography?
I think the best way is to look around your city and find out what is within a day's travel, and there is enough information available on Google to find that what temples or what heritage sites are around from Bangalore or Delhi or Bombay or Chennai or Surat or any place. And India is a place full of heritage because people have been living in this land for 80, 90,000 years. So there is heritage is in every as my one of my friend Kameshwar says, every speck of sand in India reeks of heritage. So the best way to do is look around, take Google and look for sites, and just you will find hundreds of sites. Just in Bangalore itself, there is enough and more that one can reach in a day and see. And that's the best way. Photography is always there. The wiki gives you enough photographs. There is enough to whet your appetite if you're interested.
So, thank you, Shankar, for that answer to her. I think that each one of us should move about at least 2 times in a month. Go around, you don't have to take a photograph, at least understand what is the heritage of that place, the particular monument, so that you will also value it much more. Then there is from Ravinder Chima who says history can be beautifully depicted through such awesome photography. And I really hope the youngsters who are tuned in to our program will make an effort to go and explore some of the heritage sites which are very near us. Then there is Vasanti Rao who says we should get it all back. And I think the heritage can be brought back only if we, the people, take an interest. So if you can go visit with your school children, take some of your people from your apartment, I think that will be a good start. Uh, so there are people who says that we don't have any questions, sir, but I'm still in awe and spellbound. Thank you, sir and Dr. Geeta. So the Halebidu pictures were very awesome from Vasanti Rao. She's also an artist, a painter. Then there's Ravinder Chima who says that, do you have any pics of Mahabalipuram temple? Hope I have not missed as I joined later. No problem. I think there were other so many pictures from Tamil Nadu and also from Karnataka, especially the Hoysala temples. There were quite many. I think they make up for any pictures which has not been shown. Again, Pratima Ravi Prakash, who says that the photographs taken on cell phone is also a feast to the ears. So it goes to show that we don't have to have really very expensive equipment to take some very beautiful shots. I think it is how you relate and feel that can come through even from your mobile clicking. So Ramaratnam Parthasarthi, who says awesome photographs and a great presentation. Then YJ Chakravarti, who says great photographic journey and mesmerized. All these people are new to our platform, and I'm glad that they have taken the time to spend 1.5 hour on our platform. So. Again, Vasanti Rao, who says, can't believe that some of the pictures were from the cell phone. That is, any app can enhance the pictures. So,
Yeah, Snapseed is the app that I use.
okay. So there is from Ravinder Chima who says thanks to Dr. Geeta Madam and Destination Heritage team. Thank you, Ravinder, for taking the time off and then tuning in to our programs. And Chandra Vijayan who says thank you so much, sir, and Destination Heritage once again for a fantastic session through these heritage photographs. Then from Dr. JVS Murthy from Vishakhapatnam, who says, just now had a feast of our past in the form of beautiful photographs by Sri Jay Shankar. Thank you, Geeta. And thank you, Destination Heritage. Of all the places, Somnath Pura temple excels in sculpture. So again, it goes to show that it is the Hoysalas who came from nowhere and could really bring out the best in what Indian heritage is all about.
He
Then
should go to
again,
Tadipatri. He should go to
yes,
Tadipatri. Yes. He might change his opinion.
that is in Andhra, isn't it?
Yes, it is in Andhra. It's a
Is it
Vijayanagara. It's a
Vijayanagar?
16th century. It's a 15th century. It's fantastic by the banks of the Pennar River. I didn't put anything here. I've forgotten. Extraordinary
So
sculptures.
So, Dr. JVVS Murthy, make it a point to go to Tadaparthi and watch that, take in the beauty of the Vijayanagar temple there. Then he says the sculpture is good and it must be well preserved now as a live temple. So thank you, and downloaded Snapseed. Already Vasanti Rao has done it as she was speaking here, and we also found that there were many shares. So if that was the questions I took from Destination Heritage platform, I will take something from my personal Facebook page. Uh, there is from Dr. Suresh Kumar Srivatsa, who's also a professor now. He was who was a professor earlier and a photographer now. He says absolutely fantastic shots and presentation. And Usha Karan from Singapore, who says that fascinating to watch the rich Indian culture captured through an expert's camera, start to finish and too good. Then from Anand Ashia from Jaipur, who says very enriching experience to view the beauty of each photograph. Thank you, Mr. Shankar, and a big thank you to Mrs. Geeta. And I also find that Dr. Ruby Das, who is an art historian, and I think she also has watched the program. Thank you so much, Dr. Ruby Das, for being on our platform. Also, Professor Emeritus Tiwari and our Stapati, who have taken time to view our program. So, thank you so much, Jay Shankar, for this wonderful treat. And we can never have enough. And on this note, I wish once again a very happy new year, and looking forward to your presence next Saturday, wherein we bring a Kashmiri Pandit who will tell his story, who is now settled in Bengaluru. So, a story of beauty, of pathos, and how people get adjusted to the new environments. So, Shubharatri, and thank you so much, one and all.
Thank you, everyone. Really enjoyed it. Thanks a lot, Geeta. Really appreciate you offering me the opportunity to share this. It's wonderful to be in your forum. And as I said, may you have greater success in the future and a great year. Thank you.
Thank you so much.